Coming up, police make an arrest in last night's murder in North Sarasota. Plus, why an out-of-state police department is on the Suncoast taking notes on a local police program. And first, there was an uproar about saving the Van Wezel from the Bay's demolition plans. Now another Suncoast building has some asking for a reprieve. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin with some breaking news out of South Sarasota County. Right now, rescue crews are in the water off Manasota Key Beach after reports of a missing diver. There are reports 3 people were diving off the coast, but only 2 of them came up. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office Marine Patrol is helping in that search, and as more information comes in, we'll provide it to you, or you can keep up with the latest on our app or website. New at noon, Sarasota police make an arrest in the murder of a woman. Police say they've charged 39-year-old Spencer Sanders with homicide. The first call came in at around 6 o'clock Wednesday night. When police arrived, they found a woman dead inside her home along 42nd Street. Investigators do not believe this was a random act. The victim's name has not been released yet, and police say more details of their investigation will be released later today. Police from Evansville, Indiana are wrapping up a 2-day visit to Sarasota today. They've been on the Suncoast to get a first-hand look at the homeless outreach team, which is run by the Sarasota Police Department. ABC 7's Ray Collins went for a ride-along in this exclusive story. Ray?
Yeah, Scott, the Evansville Police Chief, a lieutenant, and a homeless specialist are heading back north later on today. They spent hours riding along with the Sarasota Homeless Outreach Team, or HOT Team. Sarasota police drive off the road and into fields to personally reach out to the homeless in a more personal approach. They've been doing this now for a few years, and they say it's been very successful. Now, the homeless point person for Evansville says he'd like to bring this program back to his community.
Yeah, I definitely think so. There's a lot to build off here. They have, a successful program going, and I think we can apply the same principles they have going on here back in Evansville.
We're really honored that we have a group from Indiana come to take a look at our homeless outreach team and the program we're using. It's just an honor for us to be recognized by this group and for us to be able to share what we've learned and the lessons and know that it's going to be a best practice used by another agency.
The Evansville chief heard about the HOT Team after hearing Chief DePino speak at a law enforcement conference last year in Philadelphia. Scott?
All right, Ray, thank you. This morning, nurses across the Suncoast were out in full force, protesting and picketing at several area hospitals. ABC 7's Marla Spence shows us why those nurses are protesting.
Some Suncoast nurses, like the ones behind me, are picketing at 6 hospitals across the state of Florida, including Doctors and Blake hospitals. Many of those nurses want to bring light to some issues they say they hope to see resolved.
Nurses are now in the middle of contract negotiations and are waiting for contracts to be finalized. Nurses, a part of the nurses union, say they want to see change when it comes to patient care, staffing, recruitment, and retention.
The other thing is having improved compensation and wages so that we can really attract the experienced nurses that we need. We need to be able to recruit those nurses and then retain them. We really need the experienced nurses that have the training, the certification. They can mentor the newer nurses that are coming up, and it's very important that we retain those people. There's a lot of research out there that shows that low turnover rates, high certification levels, things like that really improve patient outcomes, and that's what we're working for.
Doctors Hospital released a statement today. In that statement, it mentioned a recruitment and retention initiative that's already in place. The statement then goes on to say it is unfortunate but not unusual to see tactics like this when a union and an employer are engaged in contract negotiations, as we are with this union. We want to ensure that our community understands that neither this nor any other action will ever come between us and our commitment to the high quality care and services we offer our patients and this community on a daily basis, end quote. In addition to Doctors Hospital, the morning's informational picket was held at Blake Hospital and hospitals in Orlando, Tampa, and St. Petersburg. I'm Marla Spence reporting for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you. Manatee County Sheriff's detectives continue to investigate 2 alligators that were found dead in a Bradenton pond. Investigators believe the gators were killed. It happened at the Fountain Lakes condominiums in Bradenton Tuesday night. Manatee County Sheriff's investigators say they aren't sure just how the gators were killed, but it is possible the reptiles were harvested for meat. The alligators were in decomposition when found, and so little is known yet on how long the bodies were there. If you don't know anything that can help investigators, call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. A python was found in DeSoto County yesterday. Deputies responded to a call from an animal problem. The homeowner requested that snake be removed from its property. It was safely removed and then turned over to a local animal shelter. You never know what you'll find around here these days.
It's true, right? Yeah, the wildlife's all around us.
I know.
We have some showers in progress right now, one lone shower, and a pretty quiet afternoon, I think, in store for the most part. And showers probably building again a little bit later in the day. Kind of like it did yesterday.
Yeah. Most of them, not all, but most seem to be east of the interstate.
Yes. And I think that'll probably be the case again today, although the motion is going to be kind of random, somewhat like it was yesterday. Winds are very light, and I think they'll move very little as they rain out, so they'll probably get some pretty good rainfall.
Okay.
So that's the way it's shaping up this afternoon. We certainly did have some beautiful weather to start the day. Lakewood Ranch webcam put it into motion, shows those blue skies that we had and a few feathery clouds as well. Clouds building now. As the sea breeze begins to build, I think we'll see a few of these clouds start to drop a little bit of rainfall. But right now we're seeing the showers kind of falling down around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor, actually, just north of Rotunda up toward El Jobin. And Tarpon Point, seeing a little bit of light rain. That's in the process of dying, though. That won't last very long. And then that larger cell, that's moving up toward areas around El Jobin. That'll probably see some showers there. Otherwise, pretty quiet across the Sun Coast. We certainly have lots of moisture to work with again today, though. And the only thing is, the winds are fairly light. You'll notice there's just not a lot of motion in those cells that you're seeing there. They're not rapidly moving toward the coast or away from the coast. They're all kind of dying out in place. As we head into the afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds will take our feels-like temperatures up to pretty close to the 105 degree mark again today. Rain chance at about 30%, and under some of those storms you can get some pretty good downpours. We've got a few pattern changes coming our way, and the two tropical systems that we were watching are starting to fade from view. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few. Scott.
Thank you, John. Sarasota County Commissioners still are not sure they want to privatize the county's bus system, but they are willing to explore the options. Commissioners voting yesterday, to issue a request for new proposals allowing vendors to possibly take over the public transportation. Commissioners are looking for a change because SCAT currently doesn't make a profit. Commissioners from both counties have discussed a possible merger of the two bus systems, but have never taken a formal step in that direction. As the Bay works out plans for the redevelopment of 53 acres of bayfront land in Sarasota, one city commissioner wants to save a local landmark. Jen Ahern Koch wants to consider the old Gee Whiz building be saved and restored. The building, located on Boulevard of the Arts, has been without a tenant since 2013. Recent proposals by the Bay have not included saving the Gee Whiz building. Koch provided letters to Bay designers from local organizations asking that the building be saved. The city says that building needs hundreds of thousands of dollars in repairs to be salvaged. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a warning for new parents after a couple loses their baby to a deadly disease. And Manatee County ranking high for being healthy. What this community is doing right to provide a healthy lifestyle for its residents.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yep, so we're on our way to another warm, steamy afternoon. 88 degrees already. The air temperature, dew point value, steamy at 75. And we have a feels like temperature about the same as it was yesterday at this hour, coming in at 98. We'll probably top it out today with an air temperature of about 92 or so, which will give us a feels like of about 100 to 105. So again, another warm, sticky afternoon. It's always nice to get a little bit of those showers in the afternoon to kind of break the heat, and I think inland will be the best location for that. But the motion of the showers after they build is going to be kind of random, so after the initial showers build along the sea breeze front, I think everybody has kind of an equal likelihood of seeing showers, whether it's a little further inland or a little closer to the coast. Southwest wind developing now at about 5. That's influencing a few of the showers that we have growing at this moment. 30% chance of rainfall by the time we hit 3 p.m. and then I think those showers will kind of gradually dry out, basically in place inland east of the interstate, and some of the rainfall could be pretty heavy because they won't be fast movers, but some of the outflow may scatter the showers a little bit, and we'll have about a 20% chance of those showers through about 7 p.m. when we'll watch them all kind of die out and leave us with a pretty quiet overnight. So a lot of showery activity out in Gulf waters. I mean, the atmosphere is juicy and it's primed to produce showers. The little trough low pressure we had earlier has kind of moved on now. That provided us with a little bit of an enhanced rainfall chance yesterday. That will not be a player so much in our weather today. We've had a lot of shower and a lot of thunderstorm activity out in the Gulf. Pops of lightning have been pretty frequent out there. We now have one lone pop of lightning here around Charlotte Harbor. That's that one cell that I was referring to. Is producing some thunderstorm activity. Slowly moving up and gradually dissipating as it does so. It's the one lone shower we have. So we have 2 other tropical systems which we continue to monitor. Chris, which was a formidable hurricane, now a post-tropical system. In the process of dying out, Hurricane Center is going to stop issuing reports on it. And then we have what's left over of Beryl continuing to lift northward. Post-tropical Chris has 70-mile-an-hour winds, continues to lift off to the north and to the east, and will eventually move out into the open waters of the Atlantic and perhaps get pretty close to Iceland with time and produce a kind of a gusty wind there. And then there's Beryl, with all computer models continuing to suggest a motion that takes it for a couple of days anyway off to the northeast. There may be a brief window of time when it's over the warmer waters that has the potential of some regeneration, but even if it did, like I say, it's a little it'll be even further away actually than Chris was, so its influence on the United States is nothing. High pressure, double barrel high pressure areas, one in the Atlantic, one in the Gulf waters, provides us with a pretty light wind flow today, and that's why our showers will move relatively little. They'll be born and bred kind of along the spine of the state, and that's pretty much where they'll die out as well. But a few will build closer to the coastline, a few. Mostly sunny today, slow moving storms, and then we'll wait next week when we return to a more average kind of weather for this time of year. Southwest wind coming in at about 5 to 10 knots. Pretty nice day for boating, smooth out there on bay and inland waters. And the forecast calls for a 92 today, tomorrow. The day after, a rain chance goes up to about 40% over the weekend. Maybe a little drier on Sunday as some drier air tries to filter in. And then as we head into next work week, I think we're probably looking at pretty average conditions. Scott?
Okay, John, thank you. Less than 24 hours after showing symptoms, a baby dies from meningitis. Now the boy's mother and father have a message for other parents. Laura French has the story.
4-month-old Killy Schultz was a curious little boy.
Is he trying to crawl at all?
Who his parents say was always on the move, as he was the morning of June 29th.
He was happy, he slept well, did his normal morning dance.
24 hours later, the healthy, happy Chesterfield infant would be in a pediatric intensive care unit.
That's when it started to get really bad.
Just hours earlier, Alex Dempsey and Gabriel Schultz were headed to the emergency room as a precaution after their son came home from daycare with what they thought was a benign fever and rash. Things would quickly change.
He looked sick. He looked very sick.
Several tests later, and 2 days after Killy received his 4-month-old immunizations, the parents would be told their baby had most likely contracted meningitis, an inflammation of the membranes that cover the brain and spinal cord.
The moment they said meningitis, I knew there was a really strong possibility that we were going to lose him.
As the hours passed, Dempsey's fear became reality.
Just out of the blue, his heart rate dropped, and they started to do CPR. And after 10 minutes of CPR, you don't come back from that. So we had to tell them to stop.
24 hours after Killy's first symptom, he'd take his last breath.
He was so swollen and purple and really didn't look like him anymore, but still hold him to tell him how beautiful he was and that he was far more than I ever deserved to have. And I told him how hard he had fought and that we were so proud of him.
Dempsey says health officials believe Killy contracted the disease from an unvaccinated person.
If anything comes out of this, we want people to be aware that vaccinations can prevent things like this. He was just a baby, so he didn't really have much of a chance.
Laura French reporting from Virginia. Manatee County named a Healthy Community Champion by the Florida Department of Health. Manatee, one of only 10 counties in the state to receive this honor. Health officials citing the county's access to bicycle routes, parks, greenways, farm stands, and an employee wellness program. The state's Healthy Community Champions program highlights how local governments have focused on improving the built environment, places where people live, work, and play, access to healthy food, along with air and water quality. State health officials say this honor makes Manatee County a more enticing place to live and work. All right, time now to head over to the kitchen and say hello to JR from JR's Packing House Cafe in Sarasota. JR, great to have you back in our kitchen. What's on your menu for today?
Today we're doing cornbread crusted pork chop. And we've doubled cornbreaded it, and it looks quite yummy right now. It smells really good too, by the way.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here, because
why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
As those 12 boys and their coach are recovering in a hospital in Thailand, we're getting a closer look now at how the rescue played out inside the cave. As many of the divers, now being called heroes in Thailand, are speaking out. Here's ABC's Maggie Rulli.
The dramatic rescue of 12 boys and their soccer coach from a flooded cave system in Thailand captured the world's attention. And now that they're all out safely, the next step is to check and monitor their health. The group spent more than 2 weeks inside the cave, and that can cause several medical issues. One of the biggest concerns is histoplasmosis, or cave disease.
Basically, these fungus spores that are the result of bird and bat droppings can get into the air, get into the lungs, cause an infection.
Doctors are also concerned that their extended time in that dark and damp space without adequate nutrition or water could have compromised their immune systems.
Their bodies start to acclimate to that cave. They're not exposed to natural light. Their bodies start to change. Their immune system starts to function less robustly. What would otherwise be a seemingly harmless infection can become more dangerous.
3 boys are being treated for minor cases of pneumonia. The hospital will monitor the boys and their coach and keep them in an isolation ward at the hospital for at least a week in order to build up their immune systems. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
All right, let's get over to the kitchen now. John is there with our guest today, JR from JR's Old Packing House Cafe. Guys?
Yes, indeed. And boy, oh boy, did you bring the food today, JR?
Yeah, we're going to start off by pounding our pork chop a little bit in the Ziploc baggie. It doesn't make a mess. So you just put them inside the bag, and yes, you can reuse the bag if you so choose. So we put in some flour, and then we go to a little bit of egg wash. And because we're on diet so well, we're going to hit it with some cornbread crusted stuff, and because we're on diets again, we're going to hit it one more time and give it that double crust thing. Yes, I know, but it is a white meat, it's pork, so it'll be fine. And the cornbread is quite natural product here. So here you go, you just cook that like that, and while that's cooking, the end result is right over here. We're going to also talk about the mangoes. We sliced them and we scored them, and then later on we'll just come back and pull them out. We score them one way and then the other, and they come out in beautiful chunks. And we make our mango salsa out of that, which we have here. We have mangoes, red onions, cilantro, tomatoes, if you like jalapenos. The mangoes aren't sweet enough, you can add a little bit of honey. That's also my favorite thing to do, just because I like things sweet. If you like a little spicier, of course, a little more of that. And this, on the pork chops, getting back to this, as you see cooked over here, They'll take 4 to 5 minutes depending on how thick they are. The thicker they are, the longer they'll cook. So we pound them out a little bit and it comes out. And we just put them on medium to low heat because we want it to crust and cook rather than burn. Since it is a breadcrumb, it could burn. So we don't want to do that. So we want it kind of low and slow. So about 4 and 5 minutes to each side. And that'll come up just nice. And now if you want variations of this would be, you could add a little flour and make a gravy out of the sauce, or you could add a little mojo and with the flour and make a little mojo gravy, stuff like that. Or any variation thereof, a little wine if you like, or some, but I kind of like this concept because you have the cornbread crusted. It gives a little different taste than regular breadcrumbs, and the mango salsa. And see how nice and cooked over here we got.
That's great.
So, and basically, now I use rice and black beans because that's traditional for us, but it doesn't have to be. And a little bit of rice.
Is this on your menu at the restaurant?
Tonight it is. A little cilantro, red onion on top if you like. If you don't like, that's okay. And then some of the mango salsa, or actually a mango chutney of sorts, I guess. Whatever. It's all good. It'll work just like that. And it comes out really pretty and nice and soft like that. And then we come back over here as that's cooking, just to give it a, see how nice and, probably want it a little bit longer than that. So we're gonna leave it like that for a little bit, but eventually it'll come out looking like that. It's a really colorful dish, nice summer dish. A lot of the trees right now, as you noticed everywhere in town, there's mango trees that are just full of trees and
they are mangoes, full of fruit everywhere you look.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're cheap at the store too, so that's also a bonus.
So that'd be a nice dish to cook up then. I see you have some other items up here. Tell us about those.
We got some plantains, we got some taco shells with, again, natural. We can have vegetarian tacos is what I was probably thinking. The mangoes on top of that with some jalapenos on top. The mangoes are just like these. Come right off my mom's tree, and they're just beautiful and nice. And then if you cut them like so, you can get a really nice, simple way to cube them and not have to go through a whole lot of bleeding. Now, when you handle the mangoes on the outside, make sure you wash them also. But make sure you wear gloves because some people are allergic to the skin or the...
That sap that comes out of there, that sticky stuff, yeah.
However, they're usually not allergic to the mango, they were just allergic to the stuff.
Yeah.
And we use...
So good stuff. I remind everybody that the recipe for JR's dish is on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining link page, and it will take you right there. JR's Old Packing House, a Sarasota landmark. Thanks, sir, for coming in today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. We'll be right back.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 20% on our beautiful light finishes during the California Closet's Shades of White event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Temperatures are rising and the deals are heating up during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new 2018 Jeep Wranglers. Or get the most awarded SUV of all time, a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
Imagine a world filled with pillow fights, playgrounds, and the search for the perfect climbing tree. Every kid deserves that world, but 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger. At No Kid Hungry, We're committed to creating a world where every kid eats healthy food every day. We raise funds, we help families, and we lift up communities.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 20% on our beautiful light finishes during the California Closet's Shades of White event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Coming up, HUD Secretary and former presidential candidate Ben Carson makes a stop on the Suncoast. Plus, a blast from the past demolished at Cape Canaveral as the agency says goodbye to a piece of space history. And what flicks get the top picks? Emmy nominations announced today. Find out if your favorite show was recognized.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story at 12:30. President Trump's European trip continues today. Lots of comments on how he thinks the NATO meeting went. ABC's Molly Hunter is in London.
President Trump left Brussels with a bang, landing in London today, but only after a freewheeling, unscheduled press conference. Today, NATO members expected the focus to be Russia and Afghanistan, but instead, President Trump had his own agenda, and he claimed victory.
It all came together at the end.
Victory over what exactly is unclear, but he took all the credit.
Secretary General Stoltenberg, he gives us total credit. Meaning me, I guess, in this case, total credit.
First, he announced that NATO allies were going to commit billions more, $33 billion to be exact. He said NATO countries would hit that defense spending target of 2% of GDP more quickly than expected. But he gave no specifics or time frame. French President Emmanuel Macron denied that anyone is increasing their commitment.
Mais le président Trump, à aucun moment.
He says Trump isn't announcing anything new. The statement published yesterday confirms the goal of NATO nations committing that 2% of GDP on defense spending by 2024, and that's still the plan. Then he answered press questions about Russia taking over Crimea in 2014.
President Obama allowed that to happen. That was on his watch, not on my watch.
And election meddling.
He may deny it. I mean, it's one of those things. So all I can do is say, did you, and don't do it again.
Trump's rhetoric nowhere near as aggressive with the Russian president as he's been with America's closest allies, just days before his bilateral summit with Putin in Helsinki. President Trump is now in London where massive protests are planned, but he's seemingly unconcerned. And President Trump was actually asked what he thought about the protests, and he said it will be fine, that actually most people were looking forward to his visit. But the truth is, he'll be out in the countryside tomorrow meeting with Prime Minister Theresa May, and of course, having tea with the Queen. All the protests will be here in central London. Molly Hunter, ABC News, London.
And the president wants to redesign Air Force One. An official says the president is deeply involved in talks about a redesign of the next presidential aircraft, adding that more red could be included on the iconic blue and white plane. The official says no final decisions have been made yet and insists an illustration published by the Axios news site does not reflect the current discussions. Happening today, Ben Carson will be in Sarasota this afternoon. The HUD secretary and former presidential candidate taking part in a book giveaway for kids in subsidized housing. The event takes place at the Sarasota Housing Authority Early Childhood Learning Center at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Also happening today, FloridaJobLink.com is holding the Hiring Heroes Career Fair. That fair is open to everyone, but there is a focus on hiring veterans and their spouses. Some of the job opportunities include first responders, healthcare, security, and more. That fair is happening right now, and it goes until 1:30 at the Holiday Inn Sarasota Airport Conference Center. One of America's oldest World War II veterans meeting with Governor Rick Scott this week. 99-year-old Sidney Walton flew to Tallahassee to raise awareness of the decreasing number of veterans from the Second World War. Walton and his son will be meeting with governors around the country on his National No Regrets tour. Governor Scott was his 12th meeting so far.
When you were growing up in New York City, you had a chance to meet Civil War veterans, remember?
Oh, yes. And I missed that.
You did.
Oh.
And you've regretted that ever since, haven't you?
Absolutely.
And that's why you don't want anyone else to live with that regret. So you're going out there, putting yourself out, allowing anyone that wants to meet you, a World War II vet.
Walton will be ending the tour in Washington, D.C. on February 11th, which would be his 100th birthday. Post-tropical storm Chris causing rip currents along northeast United States coastline. The big waves always bring out the surfers, but the swimmers are at risk of powerful rip currents that can catch them off guard, pull them out farther and farther away from the beach. Remember, if you are caught in a rip current, which can happen here as well, don't panic. Float with it, try to relax, and then once you feel you're out of it, swim parallel to the shore and then come on into shore. Yeah, they do happen here when the Gulf gets a little rough.
Sure, onshore wind flows when you get that sort of thing, and you know we've always talked about how not to concentrate on the exact path or location of the storm, that the effects can be felt far away, and here you are, you've got a post-tropical system now located just pretty close to Labrador, and we've got rip current advisories issued all the way down to Savannah, Georgia. Wow. So it's pretty amazing. And it takes a little while for that to subside as well, so that's one of the reasons they're hanging on, especially in the southern parts of the area. We don't have anything like that around here. We've got some pretty nice conditions, actually. The Casey Key webcam shows beautiful waters out there right now. A few fair weather clouds kind of drift on by from time to time, but basically look how flat that water is, you know, really smooth conditions out there. Winds are light, they're kind of variable, and the storms that build just don't move too terribly much. Case in point, the one down around Rotunda is just really not moving. This is image of it as it appeared just a few minutes ago, and it's heading toward El Jabin and Tarpon Point, but really very little motion over the course of the last 45 minutes or so. So they're getting a pretty good rainfall down there. Otherwise, things are pretty quiet at this point, but I think within about 2 hours or so, they'll start to see the radar lighting up east of the interstate, mostly as the sea breeze begins to build. Lots of warm air out there, lots of heating going on with plenty of sunshine. We have some fair weather clouds, but a lot of sunshine as well, helping to boost our temperatures today to, again, about 92 or so. About a 30% chance of rain showers along the coastline, about 50% inland, I'd say. And the storm motion will be kind of erratic and slow moving, meaning you could see some ponding of water on roadways out there when these storms form. Now, the complete forecast for you coming up in a second, Scott.
Thank you. Launch towers that have graced Florida's Cape Canaveral since the early days of the space program came down this morning. The demolition triggered right around 7 a.m. by the commander of the Air Force's 45th Space Wing. The demolition has been planned for years. The last time there was a launch from either one of these towers nearly 7 years ago, the last shuttle launch. Once the rubble is cleared, the site will be taken over by a private company called Moon Express, which hopes to launch regular missions to the moon one day. An Alabama man plans to cut 50 lawns in all 50 states. And so far, 29-year-old Rodney Smith Jr. has driven more than 19,000 miles and checked off 46 of the 50 states. His goal is to mow a lawn for someone who needs help, like a veteran, the elderly, or someone who's disabled. Smith got the idea last year, something he called 50 States, 50 Lawns. He's also mentoring kids along the way.
During this whole 50 State, 50 Lawn tour, I come across so many amazing people, and they tell me how much this service means to them, and they wish they had this service in their city, state, full-time. So my goal is now to start chapters nationwide and get even more kids to join the 50-yard challenge, to get out there and make a difference.
Smith says he plans to hit a new city almost every day and has trips scheduled to Alaska and Hawaii later this month to finish off the journey. If he needs any help in Hawaii, I'm there for him. Well, this is a big day in Hollywood as the 2018 Emmy nominations were just announced this morning. ABC 7's Stephanie Webb is a credentialed television critic and joins us now with the list and a few surprises. Stephanie?
Thank you, Scott. Well, today is our happy place. HBO has been the most nominated network for 17 straight years, but Netflix was hoping to break that streak this year, and they got pretty close. HBO's crown jewel, Game of Thrones, wasn't eligible last year, but came back big time this year, raking in the most nominations, 22 overall, more than any other series. But surprisingly, both Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow, and Emilia Clarke, who stars as Daenerys, were both snubbed snubbed in the acting categories. All right, so here they are. Here are the best drama series nominees. The final series of The Americans, The Crown on Netflix, This Is Us with both Sterling K. Brown and Milo Ventimiglia starring lead actor nominations of their own, but Mandy Moore actually got snubbed. Now, The Handmaid's Tale also scored, with Elizabeth Moss also scoring a lead actress nomination of her own. Game of Thrones on the list, Westworld, and Stranger Things over on Netflix. And in the Best Comedy Series nominees, lots of newbies and surprises in this category. Atlanta, Barry, Blackish, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Glow, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is marvelous, by the way, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Silicon Valley. Getting snubbed in this category this year was HBO's Veep with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And a few other interesting tidbits out of the nominations this morning. Anthony Bourdain, he was nominated for an Emmy posthumously for Parts Unknown on CNN. Jason Bateman, he scored a lead acting nomination for Ozark on Netflix. Some snubs include nothing for Modern Family and nothing for Will and Grace. Those two were expected to at least get a few. Now, the Emmys air on September 17th. I'm going to put the complete list of all the nominees online at mysuncoast.com. Scott?
All right, I can hear the enthusiasm in your voice. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Coming up on the all-new ABC 7 News at 4 later today, a teenager on vacation in Georgia forced into a fight for his life after a rip current took him offshore, and he stayed in that water for 10 hours. Plus, the no straw movement taking over, what places you'll only be able to find sustainable alternatives to plastic. We hope you'll join us later today on ABC 7 News at 4. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a major retailer announcing more layoffs after sales take another drop. What Sears says it has to do to stay afloat.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running, and right now, you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
I'll be right back. Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we are looking at current conditions coming in at 88 degrees. Plenty of sunshine out there mixed with a few fair weather clouds. Not much in the way of any rain showers right now. But that southwest wind right there, that's what's going to be the kicker in the atmosphere today, triggering off some showers and a few thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. Dew point now at 75, plenty sticky enough to give us feels like temperatures this afternoon of about 100 to 105. 30% chance of showers near the coast, inland, east of the interstate. I put the rain chance at about probably 50% is better, more accurate for that area. 20% chance as we head into the evening as things kind of die down. So we got lots of moisture to work with. Moisture, as you know, is an ingredient that when added to air makes the air actually lighter and fluffier, believe it or not. It's kind of counterintuitive, but that's the way it works. So you add in a little heating to make it even more buoyant, and that moist, warm air really does want to rise, and that's what we're seeing happening all across the peninsula right now. And now even a little bit beginning to develop over land in places. As I mentioned, we had one lone shower over land in our area, down around areas of Tarpon Point and Rotunda, seeing that one lone shower in the process of kind of fading away. But might head up to Northport as a little bit of patchy light rain or drizzle by the time it makes it there, but it's basically raining out in place. Otherwise, not a whole lot of activity going on at this point. We have the two tropical systems we continue to watch. Chris, now at a post-tropical cyclone, heading up toward, Labrador first of all, and then eventually on up toward areas around Iceland. And that will probably very rapidly accelerate out of here. And then we have this area of disturbed weather down to the south of, well, actually, it's just about parallel with us now, which was left over from Beryl. That, again, will generally move out of the area. A little trough of low pressure also moving out into Gulf waters. And double barrel high pressure areas bringing us light and variable winds across the state this morning. That's leading to some very flat seas out there. It's just gorgeous boating today. And it also means that the storms that when they build, they don't have a lot of steering winds to kind of move them around. So they basically grow and die in the same place, producing a little bit of gusty winds as well as they do that, and the potential for some good downpours of rain. Now, eventually, I think we'll develop a high pressure ridge in the Gulf, which will temporarily produce a westerly wind, maybe encouraging formation of showers on the other coast. But next week, I think this high pressure ridge out near Bermuda will take over, bring us a southeasterly wind flow, and we'll kind of return to more typical weather for this time of year. So mostly sunny today, slow moving afternoon storms, and then we'll wait for that pattern shift to occur next week. As we head into the weekend, by the way, that little bit of dry, remember we had all that dry air that came down from Chris? Well, then it got replaced by the more humid air. Well, as we head into the weekend and that Bermuda high takes over, maybe some of that drier air might try to kind of slip into the region just a little bit. If it does that on Sunday, we might be able to reduce our rain chances. Don't have a lot of confidence in it, but I'll keep watching it. We have a westerly wind flow developing. Areas, according to Mote Marine, from Venice southward showing very low amounts of red tide irritant in the air, so that's good news. There's generally a southerly drift forecast for the red tide. Southwest wind coming in about 10 knots, returning to about 5 knots this evening, making it pretty nice out there for boating. 30% chance of showers for a couple of days. Then as we head into next week, we'll be looking at a 40 to 50% chance. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. The problems continue to mount for troubled retailer Sears. The company announcing it is eliminating 200 more jobs. Sears has lost more than $11 billion since 2010 and has seen sales plunge 60% since then. The company operates both the Sears and Kmart brands. Just over a decade ago, the retailer had 3,500 stores in the United States. That number today, less than 1,000. The founder of Papa John's Pizza has resigned under pressure. John Schnattner has stepped down after admitting and apologizing for using the N-word during a media training exercise. It happened during a conference call where he was asked in a role-playing exercise if he would distance himself from racist groups. In consumer news, call it the no straw revolution. A growing list of major corporations like Starbucks and McDonald's are ditching plastic and announcing new eco-friendly initiatives. Mary Maloney takes a closer look at the companies making changes to minimize the environmental impact of plastic.
Going strawless is trendy. More and more corporations are joining a growing movement to eliminate plastic waste. This week, Starbucks became the largest food and beverage retailer to announce it's going straw-free. It will roll out this new sippy cup design this fall and phase out plastic straws from all of its stores by 2020 in an effort to reduce ocean pollution. According to Ocean Conservancy, 8 million metric tons of plastic are entering the ocean every year.
That's the equivalent of about one dumpster of garbage going into the ocean every minute, 24/7, 365.
American and Alaska Airlines are also making the switch to biodegradable straws and sustainable alternatives. And last month, McDonald's announced it would start switching to paper straws in the United Kingdom and Ireland. That's after the UK government announced plans to ban plastic straws, saying 1 million birds and more than 100,000 sea mammals die each year from eating or getting tangled in plastic waste.
3 billion people rely on the ocean for protein every day. And so if that protein is impacted by plastic, then that problem that we've created is brought back to us through the seafood chain.
And starting in September, Hyatt says single-use plastic straws will be available only by request at its hotels. Conservationists say the growing movement is a start, but say more needs to be done. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Stay with us. Entertainment news is next.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, and you're struggling to pay your bills while your case is dragging on, that's where Oasis Financial comes in. Only Oasis has Oasis Express Cash that can get you from $500 to $25,000 in as little as 24 hours, faster than anyone else. There's no risk and no out-of-pocket cost.
It was so simple. I made one phone call. Oasis was able to give me the money within 24 hours.
To pay for my electric bill, my rent, and my groceries for my children.
And even if you end up losing your case, Oasis lets you keep the money, so there's absolutely no risk to you. You don't have to worry about repaying Oasis.
If I had lost my case, then I wouldn't be responsible for paying the money back. And that was a blessing.
Oasis, they killed it, man. They helped me out. They gave me my life back.
See how much money you can get before your case settles. Call Oasis Financial, because life moves faster than your case. 1-800-874-8185. 1-800-874-8185.
So, how many of us feel completely confident about our financial future? Let's hear some specifics. Yes, go ahead.
I don't want to be a burden to my kids. When my husband died, it took almost all of our savings to give him a proper funeral. I honestly don't know if there's enough to bury me, let alone cover expenses should something happen.
Okay. Let's talk solutions. One thing you may want to get in place is a guaranteed whole life insurance policy from United of Omaha Life Insurance Company, which is a Mutual of Omaha company. This is affordable coverage, which provides a cash payment which can cover funeral expenses, bills, and other financial needs. Most payments are on their way within 24 hours. Yes, sir.
I need medical exams, things like that.
No medical exams. If you're between the ages of 45 and 85, you can call this number, or you can go online and apply for coverage up to $25,000. United of Omaha Guaranteed Whole Life Insurance. Call or go online now.
Don't miss the exciting original musical review, Tops from Flops, playing July 11th through the 22nd at the Players Center. All the best songs from all the wrong shows from composers like Irving Berlin, Cole Porter, and more. Call 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You'll want to sing right along with Tops from Flops.
In entertainment news, a popular rocker passed away last fall, but we haven't heard the last of him. David Daniel has a Hollywood Minute.
I don't have a speech.
Tom Petty fans, take heart. SiriusXM says a 4-CD box set of previously unreleased music is on the way. According to Rolling Stone, An American Treasure will feature 60 studio and live recordings, deep cuts, and alternate takes of songs. Petty died of an accidental overdose last October at the age of 66. An American Treasure is due out in September.
When I wrote The Handmaid's Tale, nothing went into it that had not happened in real life somewhere at some time. The reason I made that rule is that I didn't want anybody saying, you certainly have an evil imagination, you made up all these bad things. I didn't make them up.
You can take a creative writing class from Margaret Atwood. The award-winning author has joined the online portal Masterclass. Her syllabus includes lessons on structure and narrative development, creating nuanced characters, speculative fiction, and crafting dialogue. Check masterclass.com.
Haunted Halloween.
Did you miss me? The scary stories of R.L. Stine are unleashed on the big screen once more in Goosebumps 2: Haunted Halloween. The first trailer for the spooky sequel just dropped. The movie hits theaters, when else, in October. In Haunted Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Comedian, actress, and producer Niecy Nash was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame this week. More than 2,600 stars have now been dedicated there. Nash began her career in the film Boys on the Side, starring Whoopi Goldberg. At the time, she had no manager or agent and pushed herself into the audition. Now, Nash is headlining the drama series Claws, that you can see on TNT, which is set in Manatee County. Tyler Perry is warning fans to not get scammed. The actor, comedian, and director in a Facebook video says he's not giving away anything. Apparently, there's something on Facebook that says he is. Well, Perry directed a strong comment at whomever was making the post saying, "Stop it, devil." Perry did not point to anything specific, but says there are as many as 30 fake promotions daily that his team shuts down. He warned people not to give out their personal information in responses to these fake offers. Dwayne Johnson plays an amputee in his latest movie. Now he's jumping in to help people with disabilities in real life. Johnson, who plays a former FBI agent with a prosthetic leg in the new action thriller Skyscraper, is joining the Ruderman Family Foundation. The actor, nicknamed The Rock, released a short video Thursday calling for more inclusion and opportunities. All right, John.
He does a lot of good work, that
He
guy,
sure
I
does.
guess. Yeah.
Good guy, and I like his work. You know, some of his films aren't deep, but they are fun to watch.
Action stuff.
Oh,
yeah, fun.
Yeah.
And he takes the proceeds and, you know, he helps first responders and veterans, and good guy. You're right. Pretty quiet afternoon, but Bob will track those showers for you later in the day.
Hope to see you again at 4 o'clock, everyone. Have a good day.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 20% on our beautiful light finishes during the California Closet's Shades of White event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hunger is a growing problem in our area, and a huge number of Suncoast residents are suffering in silence.
It could be your coworker,
your child's classmate,
or your friend fighting to secure their next meal. But you can help.
ABC7 is partnering with local organizations to help feed the Suncoast.
Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger to join the fight. Help us.
Help the hungry.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks
in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 20% on our beautiful light finishes during the California Closet's Shades of White event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights.